Hi, my name is Antonio Cypress. I went through therapy and I was determined to be asexual. Asexual means it doesn't matter what gender you could be. It wouldn't matter to you if you're a female or a male, because I don't identify as either or. I'm asexual, that's my sexuality, and I'm gay. I like men. The first question is, how long were you in denial for? I was never in denial because it just came natural. When I started developing in, I believe it was 5th grade summertime, that's when, hormones are producing and you get to learn about who you are and etc. And people are pointing their fingers at me and I didn't even know what they were pointing at. I was like, what is your problem? And then as I got into middle school, that's when I started noticing I liked the same sex and as myself, which would be a male. And I was never in denial. So have I ever had a crush on the opposite gender? I think that answered it. It was in 6th grade. How do you feel when people are insistent that this is a choice that people make? It highly offends me because I think if we had a choice, naturally it's supposed to be male and female. Usually in a gay partnership or even heterosexual, when you have anal sex, it's not healthy for the receiver or the giver. Because it's not designed that way for the receiver to, be penetrated. And not only that, there's bacteria involved, and it's not healthy. So I think that if I could be heterosexual and be in a heterosexual relationship, I probably would, because I'd want a family and I want kids. And I do get along with women a whole lot better than I do men. Did coming out affect your relationships, parents, siblings, friends, in a negative way? I lost a lot of heterosexual guy friends that I wouldn't really consider a friend. Some were really nice and understanding that didn't even judge me, some of my straight guy friends. And they were the sweetest, most handsomest, like the most greatest guys in the high school or middle school. And they were really good to me. But a lot of the straight guy friends that were judgmental and against it, I lost. My father was very against it. It's against his religion. He's Catholic and he thinks that's wrong. So therefore I'm wrong. And I thought stating that I was bisexual would make it better, but it didn't. So my great-grandfather, who is 7th Lutheran, he did not believe in that either. So he was very well against it, and me as well as a person as a whole. My mom still to this day is pushing for me to sleep with a woman, and she's bisexual herself. And it's upsetting because it's not me, and I don't like being pushed, especially when it makes me uncomfortable. What is the misconception about gay people that you think other people should know the truth about? I think, when you go through sexual ed and you go through humanities and you go through the psychological aspect of it, I think the biggest misconception is they'll view Asian men as submissive, or they'll view Latino boys as submissive. And it's not always that way. There could be the most feminine acting person and you could be totally masculine in bed with somebody. I think that's the biggest misconception, is judging the person by the way they look instead of by their personality and what they like, or who they are. I shouldn't say what you like, because what you like and who you are two different things. So that's one of the big misconceptions in the gay world, is not knowing, oh, they're the bottom and they're the top, so to speak. They're submissive and they're dominant. It's not always that way. And then there's versatile, you like both. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions. And another thing is, you know, a lot of people will say, well, why don't you just try it? Well, why would you try something you're not comfortable with? That's like saying, why don't you go shoot somebody? Are you gonna, is that normal? Are you supposed to go shoot somebody? No, that's not normal. So you wouldn't go and shoot somebody, just like you wouldn't go and sleep with somebody that you're not comfortable sleeping with. Are you religious? Yes, I'm religious. I do have morals, I do have ethics, and I do believe in God and the higher power. Is he real? I don't know. In the Bible, there's hundreds of Bibles that state different meanings. There's history. There's all kinds of proof that God did exist. Am I questionable about it? Yes, every day. But I do pray and I do believe in God, and have explored different religions, different churches. So I'm more spiritual in the religious aspect. Do I want a family someday? I did answer that I do. Have you ever been in love? Yes, I have. I fell in love with a 47-year-old, and I let go of college for him twice. I moved to Washington State and came back after a month because I had a feeling he was cheating. And I had just graduated high school, so I was 18 years old, and now I'm 20. So I gave that up for him, and that was the biggest mistake. Do you think gay marriage affects straight people in any way? It does not, because everybody's marriage is their own personal marriage, and when you wed with somebody, it's based off your religion, and marriage came from the aspect of devoting you and the other person to God and allowing God for you to live a God-willing way. That's what marriage is, and that's what getting married is, or whatever religion somebody has. I don't think it affects heterosexual people at all, unless they themselves feel that they are and they're denying that, and judging people based off of that because of their insecurities. Why do you think people are homophobic? I think people, it might be new to them, and they don't know how to approach it. There's always a right and wrong way in this world, and unfortunately that's how us humans view things, is right or wrong, and sometimes there's no right or wrong, and I think that's the situation. Is it's not right to be gay, and it's not wrong to be gay, just like it's not right to be straight or gay. So I think that's one thing. It's insecurity. It's just how people approach it. Again, they might feel uncomfortable about a gay person, but it's all about knowledge. It's about understanding people. Everybody's different. Everybody has a soul, and the glove is on the outside. That's how I view it. Your glove is on the outside. You have a soul. Whatever that soul is who you are. That glove is just what your DNA is made out of. Again, a glove. Have you ever been the victim of a hate crime? I was bullied a lot growing up because I was developing and finding who I am, and during that time, you know, I'd have like extreme hair cuts, the way I styled it, my clothing choice, the way I talked, the way I walked, and occasionally I'd put my hands up like this, and you know, people would judge that. I think we're all victims of hate crimes in the gay world, because there's all these protests, there's always anti-gay everywhere. So what are my own personal thoughts? This is the question. What were you most afraid of when you made the decision to come out of the closet? I never had to come out of the closet because I was just who I am. And it did affect me, how people treated me, but I still kept going, either way. Have I always known? Again, I knew when I was developing, and you know, sperm production and fantasy and who you thought about, what gender, etc., that's when I knew, and that was summer of me going into 6th grade. So that was after 5th grade. Have I always known? Again, my grandmother and my mom knew I was at the age of 3 because I was different from a lot of people, and I favored more feminine things. But again, a straight male could like a lot of feminine things and be totally heterosexual. So they knew, they had an idea. Well, thank you for filming me, and I hope you guys enjoy my video.